The stabilization. I met my wife at a young age and married a few years later. We have been together for about 25 years. We have had a great marriage and I have always felt like I found someone that complimented me and that I compliment very well. I would prefer to continue my life as I knew it, but some things have changed over the last few months that aren't allowing me to do that. My wife chose to stay home when we had our first child and has been a stay-at-home mom for almost 16 years. I have always encouraged her to have friends, or to go back to school, or to seek employment. I have encouraged her to do what makes her happy. She's tried a little of each of those things and has had a few friends but not really close ones. By and large, she has chosen to be a stay-at-home mom and has accepted all that goes with that. Several months ago, almost a year now, we moved to an apartment complex while we were searching for a home in a new area. It was during this time that she began a friendship with a man. She talked about the friendship very openly and I did not discourage it. I met the fellow as well and he seemed very nice. She also made several other friends as well, which seemed to make her very happy to have so many people to interact with regularly. It was the friendship with the man in particular that has caused our problem. As the friendship she had with this man progressed, she began spending more and more time with him in the common areas, the pool, the clubhouse, etc., and sometimes in his apartment. She initially was very open about all of this, so I didn't think much about it. This continued and eventually she was spending most of her day with him. She would excitedly go and meet him around 4 in the afternoon when he came home from work and would oftentimes hang out with him until 10 or 11 at night in the common areas. This progressed to the point that she was doing this 7 days per week and I would not see her much until 10 or 11 at night. I discussed this with her and asked her to moderate her time with him so that we could have more time together. Initially she agreed, but really didn't change her behavior. We had many more discussions over the following months, but she continued spending an inordinate amount of time with him and her behavior toward me became increasingly irritated. I tried not to get angry and to understand her reasons, but she was never willing to give me much of an explanation. I understand that this is probably an emotional affair, but I am fairly certain that it is not a physical affair. I believe this because I haven't seen anything that would give me any reason to think that it might be. In addition, although things were causing me grief, we still had a very active bonding life, although it only took place after she came home late at night. Over the course of many conversations, all initiated by me, she told me that she really enjoyed her new friendships and that she really didn't know if she wanted to be married anymore. She said that she wouldn't have a problem with me finding a girlfriend to spend time with and several more very uncharacteristic comments. These comments would go on to cause me many sleepless nights, weight loss, and an unbelievable amount of pain. She was a witness to all of this but was indifferent and continued doing what she had been doing. Eventually, after months, it came to a point that I felt that I could not remain in the situation. I had to watch as she was leaving to meet him and she talked about him and his children constantly. When she was at home and wasn't talking about him, she was emailing or texting him. I have been very open with her and had only asked her to moderate her time with him. I finally told her that if she couldn't do that, I would have to leave. She said, "I am not going to do that." I asked if she might just cut it back by a couple of hours per day. She said no. She was very excited by the prospect of my leaving. She helped me get of the necessities for my new apartment and helped me decorate. I told her during the process that this didn't feel right and she said, "Oh well," and just seemed happy that I was going. She initially said that she felt like this was a good thing because it could allow her to figure out what was wrong with her and that we might be able to reconcile. Since then, as I understand it from both her and the kids, she has continued spending her days with her friend and has been going out to clubs with him and some of her other new friends. She and I are still talking openly and are still maintaining, somewhat, of a physical relationship around her schedule with him. She is not working, but as I mentioned, she spends a great deal of time with her friends, so any time that she talks or spends time with me has to occur on a weekday during the day when her friend is at work, as she is not willing to violate her weekends or evenings with him. I have since changed my position on her friend and have told her that we could not possibly reconcile until she ends her relationship with him. At this point, I am not sure how to proceed. Several days ago, she came over and told me that she missed me and that she was about ready to end her friendship so that we could get back together. She followed up that conversation by spending the next several days with him as though the conversation had never occurred. We talked about that and she just said, "I'm sorry about that." I told her that I don't want to be kept in limbo suffering while she's having the time of her life and that I am going to move forward one way or another. She said that if pressed, she would prefer not to stay married, but would like to maintain a friendship, physical relationship with me or not. I really don't know what to do at this point. When we are together and are not talking about the situation, everything is great. I really think that the whole problem is that she was desperately craving friendship and now she is just getting drunk on it. I have felt like this was the issue all along, or I would have approached it much differently. I just can't believe that she wants to end our long-term love affair over this. It just seems so short-sighted. Although she agrees with all of the points that I have made, it doesn't change anything. She says that she knows she is having problems, but she says that's just how she feels right now. She says that she thinks I am the perfect husband, but that she just doesn't want to feel like she has any responsibility to be home at a certain time or to tell me where she is going or what she is doing. She knows that the kids are aware of her behavior, but that is of no consequence either. At this point, we have been talking about a possible divorce. She doesn't seem at all fazed by the discussion. She just talks about how she will be fair and tells me that I can have the kids all I want and that sort of thing. She says she'd like to maintain our friendship, physical relationship if possible, but also seems quite willing to let that go as well if necessary. I know this is long and thanks for reading. This is where we are now. As I said, everything seems great when we are together when she is available, but the other issue is always there and she is willing to do what is necessary to maintain it. I know that if I press the issue that our marriage will be over and I will have to suffer through the anger, bitterness, and resentment. On the other hand, I can remain separated and continue as we are now or divorce and keep her as a sort of girlfriend for who knows how long. It's a tough place to be and I'm not sure how to proceed. I love her and care deeply for her and I feel that at some point she'll likely see that she has made a mistake, but that point may also never come. I also wonder if maybe I should tell her that she could maintain her friendship in moderation, as this may increase the chances that we could move back in together. It would still be very hard on me, but I also don't want to be foolish or impulsive about the decision. I seriously do not believe that she is having a physical relationship with this fellow. It is not just denial. I have looked for clues and have seen her with him many times and do not think this is the situation. I'm almost afraid to explain much further because I don't think this situation is typical, although people will assume that it is. I know it is hard to believe, but they spent a great deal of time in the common areas and with other friends that they mutually share. She does go to his apartment to have dinner and to hang out, but my kids went along to spend time with his kids many times, and they also tell me that he is a nice guy and have never mentioned having seen anything out of the ordinary. I really believe that it is a friendship that has taken on too much significance. As far as a divorce is concerned, we are talking about the possibility of this now. Doing that will not give her the cold splash of water to the face that someone mentioned. She will likely receive child support and a settlement that will allow her to continue her relationship while she goes back to college to finish her degree. I agree that it is a messed up situation, but it's not at all what one might assume. The guy has recently divorced himself because of his wife's infidelity, from what I have been told. My kids know him and tell me that if he knew we were having issues because of him, he would probably end the relationship. I know people are going to hammer me for saying this, but I didn't want to screw up her friendship with him because it is the one thing that really seems to make her happy these days. I talked with her today and told her that I really felt that she was not thinking toward the future and spoke of the likely temporary nature of her relationship with this fellow. She said that really made her want to think about it more. So, I am expecting more conversation about this very soon, and then I will absolutely move forward with divorce or reconciliation, but one or the other will have to happen soon. To answer a few of the questions. 1. Yes, our finances are separate, but I am paying the bills because the kids are spending equal time with each of us and I won't put them in a bad situation. 2. An ultimatum has already been given. 3. I am not being weak, but I am trying to be logical and to consider this as an unusual situation that doesn't fit the standard. I don't want to be rash. Is it wrong to put myself in her shoes and to consider how it might be to not have any close friends for years? I will deal with it, and divorce is a definite possibility, but in my opinion, one should not throw away a long-term relationship because the other makes a bad decision. I had really hoped that there might be others that had a similar situation with a friend causing so many problems. I almost wished that I had posted that it was a female so that the assumption would not automatically be that there is a physical relationship. That would change the dynamic and the assumptions, wouldn't it? I guess I can understand how she could have a close connection with another person. I am just confused about how it came to be more important than her primary relationship. A physical relationship seems like it would be a much deeper form of intimacy. And I could not imagine being intimate with her if I knew that she had been involved with that sort of situation. Comment: you just logically lost your marriage by sitting around contemplating rather than opening your eyes and taking a good look at the situation. When your wife is running out of the house at 4 p.m. to greet this bum when he comes home from work. She doesn't come home until 10 or 11. She tells you to get a girlfriend. She helps you pack your clothes when you threaten to move the hell out. She isn't one bit fazed when you talk divorce. Tell me please, I got to know. Where is the logic? You don't want to be rash. Dude, the only rash you might have to worry about is the one she gives you that she will get from him. What the hell do you think she's doing over at his house? Better yet, why are you letting her? No wife should be doing the things she is doing. No wife. She's doing this right under your nose and you're trying to use logic. Try telling this story to a MC. Any MC. After they hear it, one or all will no doubt reach out and boot you in the ass and call you a liar for such a stupid story. Wake the hell up. You have kids and it seems like neither one of their parents have any common sense. OP responds: okay, I get it. I should have handled it differently. This didn't happen all at once, it was a progression and I wasn't sure at what point to draw the line. Maybe I should have raised hell about it, but this was a person that I have learned to trust over the last 25 years, so cut me some slack. I never thought that her intentions could be anything less than good. I just assumed that I misunderstood the situation. I wish I had handled it differently. I would love a redo. She does spend more time with the kids now that we have separated. As for the custody situation, I understand that it is difficult for the father to get the children in this state unless the children make the choice. I'm not sure I want to put them in that situation. I will, however, seek out a lawyer and get some useful advice about the situation and determine the best way to move forward. I began here with the idea that I wanted to make sure that I wasn't being overly jealous or controlling by asking her to lessen the time that she spends with the man that she calls her friend. Apparently, according to the responses, I should have made demands much earlier. I already know that at this point any sort of ultimatum that requires her to take action will very likely end in divorce. The only ultimatum I have given at this point is that she'll have to figure things out soon. She had wanted 7 months, the length of my lease, to figure it out, but I decided a couple of weeks into it that I would not wait that long. I realized that I am going to have to press the issue in order to move forward. I left because I couldn't handle watching her leave each day to spend time with him. Again, I agree that I handled it badly. He doesn't come to her apartment as far as I know. The kids tell she has been spending every night with him at the pool until it closes, but that she doesn't usually go to his house. Again, that is why I don't think it is physical. I'm not there to interfere, and she still spends her time in the common areas rather than just going to his apartment. I still think that this is an EA, but I know what I have to do. I get that I have handled this situation poorly. I think every situation is a bit different and there are some dynamics that I just cannot convey. I think that is why my description of the situation makes it appear as though I have been overly passive. I probably have been to a certain extent, but not to the extent that has been suggested. I addressed it early on, but I probably should have raised hell about it. Maybe that would have stopped it in its tracks. I still do not believe that she has had a physical relationship, but it has become so somewhat irrelevant at this point. I do agree with some of the comments that have been made. I have not wasted any time. I met with her this morning and presented the ultimatum. Not surprisingly, she chose the divorce option. I plan to meet with a lawyer this coming week to determine what is required to file for divorce. I am doing all that I can to avoid anger or saying anything that I will regret later. I know that no matter what I say at this point, it will not change her feelings about the situation. I am hoping to maintain a friendly relationship now and in the future, as she is the mother to my children and I will have many dealings with her in the future. It is such a shame that we will be throwing away so many happy years and so many good memories, but it appears as though there are no options left. I asked her during the divorce discussion if she would feel the same if she had to work to maintain her situation. She said that she would work full-time if necessary. We do not live in an alimony state, and she says that she wants to have joint custody. And we are currently keeping them, teenagers, 7 days per week each. When I said that I want to maintain a friendship, I meant that I do not want to blow up or to have an angry demeanor around her. I want to keep it friendly. We have gotten to the point that there is little that I could say that would make a difference. I know I've tried. At this point, I just want to maintain a positive situation for my kids and do not want them to think badly of her. They are watching it all unfold and are very unhappy with her behavior too. I'm there for them though and will gladly take them full-time if that is something that they want to do. And moving forward now, we'll get the divorce and we'll try to figure out how to recover from all of this. I have joined them at the pool on several occasions. It did not appear to me that there was anything other than a cordial friendship. She is almost always at the pool or in the common area and I always knew where to find her. The issue is that she just wanted to all of her time with her friends, and the one in particular. Usually this is until 10 or 11 at night. I never get to see her and I do not enjoy hanging out with them for hours at the pool as we just sit there and repeat the same old conversations again and again. She tells me that it isn't that way when I am not there. She says that I am intimidating and that is why her friend and other friends do not act in the same way and isn't enjoyable. Yay, I realized that my moving out wasn't the best way to handle it. I thought it would force her to reevaluate our marriage and that she would soon move in with me and get away from the situation. Yes, it backfired, but I haven't ever been through this before and it seemed logical at the time. I thought that showing her that she was going to lose me was a show of balls. I briefly considered telling her to leave but didn't for the kids' sake and opted for leaving myself. Yes, I could force my way back into the apartment. Yay, but the issue is that I cannot physically force her to stop spending time with her friend or friends. At this point my kids tell me that she spends as much time with other friends as with the initial guy. I think that the issue is all about perceived freedom and independence and that it isn't so much about the particular guy that's involved. Don't blast me for that. I've listened in on conversations, read texts and emails and have found nothing that suggests a physical relationship. She does have some problems, but I think it is a midlife crisis thing where she feels like she's missing out on something. I am dealing with it now the best way I know how. I have an appointment with a lawyer and plan on filing for divorce. I told her that I wanted to get with her friend and have a conversation and she didn't freak out but just said that he wasn't the issue. I really don't know if he is the issue. I would like for him to be because then it would make more sense and I could really be pissed, but instead I am just confused. She said she just wants to be able to hang out at the pool with her friends as much as she wants. She wants to go dancing at clubs. She wants to stay out until 2 in the morning if she wants, playing card games or whatever. She just doesn't want to be married. Many of the replies seem like they are suggesting that I try to exact some sort of revenge to straighten her ass out. I would do it in a heartbeat if I thought it would change anything. I am fairly certain that if I do that we will come to the same end, divorce, and the only difference would be that we would hate each other and feel anger and resentment towards each other for the foreseeable future. That doesn't seem like a positive environment for the kids if you ask me. The kids stay with me for 7 days and then her for 7 days. Okay, I have had a lot of rocks thrown at me, but I want to do what I can. I want to stay married and have my wife back the way that she was. I am taking some of the advice that I have received in the forum. I have a few questions though. I am meeting with the OM or friend today to discuss his role in our situation. I'm not sure what I hope to gain other than to let him know that he is the cause of another person's divorce or marital difficulties. It would be nice if he would withdraw it from her at that point, but I doubt that it will happen. The reason I have any hope at all is that my wife came over last week and hugged me and told me how much she missed me and said that she was ready to end the relationship with the other man. We had lunch together and awesome bonding. 3 days went by where she didn't call or text and didn't have much to say when I called or texted. I met with her and said, "Hey, what's the deal? I thought you were ready to move forward and leave the friend behind." She said, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that." Then she said, "I do want the divorce." She said she wanted to experience life as a single woman and to be independent and free. Although I am financing the independence, I have read that it could cause legal problems if I shut off all access to our account, so I don't know that there's much that I can do on that front. She said, "I need to be alone and I crave it like nothing else." I looked through my emails and saw one from 2 weeks ago where she said that if we get back together, she will only visit her friend on occasion. I told her that won't work. It's all or nothing. The following week is the event that I explained earlier. I understand now that this is cake-eating behavior. So, what now? Should I seek out a lawyer and move forward while doing a 180 to see if anything changes and then just follow through if it doesn't, or should I hold off for a while? Anything else that might help me to fix the situation? I thought I might try to get the kids to ask to stay with me full-time so that she will have even more lonely time to think about what she is doing. I don't know. I also ordered several of the books including The Divorce Remedy. I'm hoping it will offer some good advice. Another suggestion is that I should just move back in. I really don't think that I can take the emotional beating that I get when she leaves all the time right in front of me to be with her friend. Also, I have a lease on the other apartment that I can't get out of easily, so that causes some difficulty. What difference is it likely to make in regard to getting her back if I move in or stay separated doing a 180? Oh, and to answer another question that was asked earlier, I guess the PW to her email account and had an opportunity to look through it. The only thing that really bothered me was that she forwarded an email that I sent her about emotional affairs to the friend. It was about him, so that really upset me because I know they had a conversation about it. Okay, I am doing what I can to do this right. I know I have made mistakes like the hanging out and sleeping together last week and contacting her to try to discuss the inconsistencies with her. She told me that she'll make sure that there aren't any more inconsistencies and that she is now absolutely sure what she wants, to be divorced and single. I asked her what she wanted that for, if she wanted sleep with other dudes. She said, "Maybe, I don't know, but I want to have the ability to make those decisions." So that's where we are. I currently have an appointment with a lawyer this week and a counselor too. She says she will go me to counseling, because I needed to get over all of this. Yep, she said that. She said that it wasn't for her, but she would explain her side to the counselor so that she, the counselor, could help me. If it had been last week, she wouldn't have said that at all. Update: a lot has happened since I last posted. I met with the OM. It seems that he and my wife connected emotionally because he was coming out of a divorce and confided in her. They now have a very strong friendship, but that is all. I have spoken with him since and he agreed to remove himself from the situation. I later found out from my kids that she has been spending as much time as ever with him. I have read No Nicer Guy and The Divorce Remedy. They are both good reads. I will say that The Divorce Remedy may have confused the situation a bit, as it suggests hanging on and acting as though I am just Andy until she comes around. I canceled the lawyer appointment for the moment. My kids both broke down to the wife. My son has become angry and had a conversation or argument with my wife. My daughter broke down in tears and said that she feels like her mom is no longer the same person and that she doesn't know what to do. They both tell me that she is rarely at home. I am trying to help them both cope as well as I can and am going to talk with a counselor about them this week. I told them that they are old enough that they can probably choose to live with me full-time if they like, as I will always be there for them. The kids softened my wife a bit. She had a talk with me yesterday and said that she is willing to work on things, but that she is not ready to move in with me or to spend much time with me or to stay over. She agreed to watch a movie with me and the kids. She left very early though, and the kids said that she was probably leaving to meet with the OM and friends at the apartment pool as it did not close for a few more hours. At this point, I am pretty clear on what is going on. She is involved in a relationship that includes the OM and a couple of other women friends. She spends every free moment with these 2 or 3 people. I don't think she is involved in a physical relationship, but it is definitely an emotional affair. She is still very much in the fog. She says she is willing to work on things. My daughter told me that she may have only said that because she broke down to her. So far, other than watching a part of a movie with us, I have not seen anything that would indicate that she truly wants to work on things. I am thinking that I will wait a couple of weeks to see how things go down and then file for D if necessary. I now feel like I have a good read on the situation, but I don't know if she can see her way out of the fog, and I don't know if she can ever be the person that she once was. My comment: it is difficult to believe that your wife is not having a physical relationship with this man. Moreover, she has convinced him that you are such a softie that he can bluff his way past you to allow them to continue the affair without a meltdown. Sorry to be so pessimistic. OP, you are able to convey your dignity and moral sensibility. This will often serve you well in life since. However, when dealing with dishonest people who assume the best about others, honesty and good faith may not be the best policy. About cheating wives, good mothers or not. No doubt, all things considered, cheating wives are worse mothers. They need not always be failures as mothers, that is too categorical. In the case of your family, your children's anxiety is an enormous clue that your wife is failing them as a mother. They see the effects of her affair. Pay attention to your children's perception. They are crying out for you to act. File for divorce ASAP. Cut off your wife's money if you can. If she shows remorse and comes round, you can always rebuild a new marriage. That reconciliation vibe doesn't come through at all.